Hello world and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I am Nikkirenae and today, I don't really know how to name this. I think the closest thing would just to be that today I am cataloging all of my books, I guess. I am absolutely, definitely, easily influenced when it comes to books. There are certain things that I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But there are a lot more things that I'm like, I'm doing that. That's amazing. I love that. And one of those things was a book scanner. I have over 700 books. It's a little bit hard to track them all. I have a Notion database that I tend to use, and I've like curated the thing for years, but it is still kind of hard to keep up with. So I thought this might be a good alternative for something easier to keep up with. I don't know exactly how well this will work, but I'm excited to try. And of course, if it doesn't work out for me, I have an older sister. So let's just open this really quick and get started. Junie and I have to leave in about half an hour, 45 minutes ish. I want to try and see how much I can get done right now. I want to start, I have some books on my desk here, and then I have books next door in my room, and I want to start with those. However, I do also want to say this video is going to be 1, cataloging my new books, 2, there's a mini haul in here, and then 3, I'm going to start unhauling some books. Because there's a lot, and there's a lot that I don't really want anymore for their reasons. Okay, oh my god, she's open. So I've got a wire, which I think must be for charging the actual scanner. Wait. It made a sound earlier. This is the sort of USB or like transfer situation. And then I have the manual. I'm a person who reads instructions, 100%. So I think I need to make an account online, and I'm okay with that. Oh, this is so interesting. Everything is done by like barcodes. Okay, I've got this all set up. It took me a little while to remember how to do it and what the things were that I was supposed to be doing. So let's start with the mini haul. And on that note, I'm unsure if I'm going to be actually scanning the books that I want to unhaul, because I don't know how to delete individual books from the thing, because I had put a book in for a sort of like test run, and then I had to delete the whole collection to get it out to start again. So I don't know. Anywho, the haul is 4 books. And I'm so excited. First is Mixed Signals by B.K. Borson. This is the 3rd book to the Love Light series. If you don't know, I've been doing seasonal reading vlogs, and I've been doing these every time because I waited very patiently for winter and Christmas to come back so I could do it. So I'm so happy to have the summer one. It is July, so I've got to start cracking on these soon. That's so fun. I wish I could have it in the library tab so I could see it, but that's okay. If it works, really. So that's 1 book down! Yay! Okay, the next book in this haul is Kingdom of the Cursed. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition with the blue edges. I have the first book. I just decided to get the second book yesterday. I really don't want them to go out of stock before I get all of them in the edges. wow, it actually can't find the book, so that's... that kind of sucks. So the good thing is that even if it can't actually find it by the scanner, I can search for it. So at the very least, that's an option. And it does have it that way, so it's not the end of the world. It's not necessarily the favorable outcome, but that's okay. Now, these next two books, I don't know if I'm going to put into the database yet because they're actually Book of the Month books, and I think I've decided that I'm going to get rid of all of my Book of the Month books. And there are some of the stories that I'm actually really interested in, so I will be making a list of what I'm interested in acquiring in a different format, but I just don't agree with Book of the Month anymore. So these books are Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline. I do have Ready Player 1 also from Book of the Month. And then Bury Our Bones, Midnight Soil. Oh, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. So it's bittersweet that I'm actually going to be getting rid of them, but it happens. So next is In the Weeds by B.K. Borson. I am not going to say every book's title, by the way. Okay, I just finished the books that were on here, which was 10, so that's great. I only have like 720 more to go, but that's okay. It is about 12, so we do have to leave. I wish I could have gotten more done today, but that's okay. It happens. And now that it's all set up, I can definitely easily come back and do it again. I'm not going to say every book's title, by the way, but as I'm going through, I will definitely put aside the books that I am unhauling, and then I will do those at the end. And then I will also like do a scroll through of all the books that I have in my library. And I do want to also say I did not just get this because I was easily influenced, because I am. I also got this because I have so many books, and I have this lovely habit. I haven't done it in a little while, thank God, but I have this lovely habit of getting more than one copy of a book, and sometimes I like that, that's okay. Other times, and there are just so many books that it's really hard now to keep them straight, I guess, to keep... Anywho, I'm going to end this for today, or at least for right now, right here. this many hours later. It's actually 10:07. I just wanted to come in for a quick update. First of all, I don't know when I'm gonna stop tonight because it is actually July 3rd and it's a Thursday, so the fireworks are going, but I just wanted to come on and update. I have done 160 books, and like I said, this is just to help me keep track of my books, but I know that I have at least 700, I think it's like 720 something. But I've just gotten all of the book of the month books out, which is why that whole shelf is empty now. And I did go ahead and scan these two just so I can have a very clear number of before and after of the books that I unhaul. And I just wanted to say that I am fully planning on getting rid of most of my book of the month books. There are a few exceptions for specific cases, but yeah, I just wanted to update. I've got 160 books so far. Yay! And I still have all of this. I got through the room next door and the books that I had on the floor in here, and now I just have everything that's on the shelves. the next day, which means that it's actually the 4th of July. But I wanted to update before I get started for today. I'm so proud of all of the progress I got done yesterday. I was scanning books up until almost midnight last night. The fireworks were just still going, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep going then. But I'm so proud of the progress. I have scanned about 266 books. On the topic of unhauling, I have been sorting the books as I go. Right now the piles are mostly just book the month books, but I do have a couple other things. Like I have 2 copies of Babel by R.F. Kuang that I obviously don't need 2 copies of, and I have been reorganizing and putting things back. I have little knickknacks to put on my shelves, so I've also been trying to mark those. So this one has my fox plushie, and then you can't really tell, but the one all the way up has like a stitch. So if you couldn't tell on my computer screen, I have the libib, I think it's libib, but whatever, screen on one tab, and then I actually had in another tab Spotify, and then in another window Netflix. So I had the K-pop Demon Hunters movie playing on Netflix at 1.5 speed yesterday. I think I literally got through it like 4 different times or something, just playing it over and over again because it deserves that #1 spot. And on Spotify I had the playlist going on repeat. Like I literally put like in my queue on repeat over and over and over. I'm probably going to do that again today. I'm obsessed, if you can't tell, but also that movie launched an entire depressive episode for me and derailed my summer for a little while, which is mostly my fault, but it was because of the movie. So yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can to hopefully make sure that we definitely get a sequel. However, I am absolutely of the mindset that there's no way we're not getting a sequel now because of how drastically popular it is and how drastically popular it's gotten so quickly, and the fact that it's still going strong. And today marks 2 weeks that it's been out. However, Netflix does have the 28-day rule thing, so then we need another 2 weeks, but that's beside the point. And with all that being said, I'm going to start scanning more books. Hi! So it is a few days later from the last time I spoke to you, but I believe the last clip you saw was me cataloging the last few books yesterday, I think. It might have been the day before. The books are scanned, the catalog is made, and I am so beyond proud and excited to say that I currently own approximately 740 books. And if you're wondering why I'm saying approximately, because hello, I've just spent multiple days sitting here reorganizing, scanning, cataloging all my books specifically to figure out how many I have and what I have, and I'm saying approximately. Well, that's because some books didn't really have barcodes to scan, most notably being the collector's special editions of like Throne of Glass, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I think Carval. So there's that. And then also some books I had more than one copy of, so it was the same barcode being scanned and it wouldn't let me do it that way. I can go in and change how many copies there are, but I'm not going to do that because I am here right now to go through all the books I'm officially, at least attempting, to unhaul in the coming future. And I'm doing it right now. Obviously, I just got out of the shower. My hair is literally still wet because my sister is supposed to be coming over today to look through and take her pick of what she wants. And I know that she's going to take at least a few books because she's asked for them already, but I don't know what else she's going to take. So, out of the approximately 740 books that I have, the unhaul is approximately 100 and I think 7, and it is truly wild. I've never done an unhaul before. I've gotten rid of some books in the past, but it was never a whole real thing, really. So this being like it is, especially because I've been very much on the train of I'm getting 1,000 books, I'm going to get 1,000 books, I'm going to have a library, and now I'm doing this. It's just I'm going to go through the books. I'm not going to give a summary of what it's about because I don't know what a lot of them are about, but I will say the title, the author, why I'm getting rid of it, why I'm unhauling it. Getting rid of sounds so harsh. Why I'm unhauling it, and whether or not I plan to get a new copy or replacement or something. So without further ado, let's start, because like I said, there are like just over 100. So the first book is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This is a book of the month book, and I think I might try and get a replacement, especially because I know it's part of a series. Next is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. It's a book of the month book. I think I do want a replacement. I'm very interested in historical romance or historical books in general. Sleep Tight by J.H. Markert. This is a book of the month book. I don't know if I'll get a replacement. Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. Book of the month. Also not sure about replacement. The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. This is a book of the month book, but I'm also unhauling because I have a paperback copy, so I don't need to, and I definitely don't need the book of the month version, so I'm also not getting a replacement. The Christie Affair by Nina de Gramont. It's a book of the month book. I don't see myself getting a replacement because I have no idea what it's about. Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. Book of the month, no replacement. Woman of Light by Callie Fajardo Anstein. Book of the month, probably no replacement. The Rest of the Story by Sarah Dessen. Book of the month. I'm debating on a replacement. I tend to kind of like Sarah Dessen books, but they're, I don't know. It's like very iffy for me, but I would love to give her more chances because I only have 2 of her books. Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. Book of the month. I don't know if I will get a replacement. I read The Song of Achilles, and I know this is sort of the same realm, but The Song of Achilles put me in a depressive slump. So, actually, I just saw this and I didn't realize it before, but this has some teeth marks from Junie, so that is a reluctant keep, I guess. Darling Girl by Liz Mikowski. Book of the month. I think I will get a replacement of this. I know that it's some sort of Harry Potter retelling, and I love retellings. Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong, book of the month. I'm unsure about a replacement. I would love to give her a chance, and all of her books are book of the month, so we shall see. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, book of the month. I promise there are books on here that I'm unhauling that are not book of the month. I would love to get a replacement of this and the second one because I loved the movie and I feel like I would love the books just as much. Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, book of the month. I am debating on this one. I think it's on Kindle, so I might read it on there first just to see whether or not I want a physical copy. A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. I don't know. A lot of these are outside of my comfort zone, which is sort of why I was getting book of the month. This is a book of the month, which is why I'm unhauling it, but I've never actually read any of the book of the month books that I've gotten in the past like 3 years. So, The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. Fun fact, this was my first ever book of the month book. And I don't remember what it's about. I think it was an Aladdin retelling, perhaps? But I don't know if I'm gonna get a replacement. The Spectacular by Fiona Davis, book of the month. Probably not a replacement. I don't know what this is about. It's historical fiction, which I know I said that I enjoy, but Hera by Jennifer Saint, it's a book of the month. The fact that I'm keeping Ariadne is not swaying me on this now. I'm still going to unhaul it. Wayward by Amelia Hart, book of the month. I think I might get a replacement. I'm still not super duper sure, but I've heard a lot of good things. House of Glass by Sarah Pekkanen, book of the month. Probably not going to get a replacement, although I really like this cover. Purple is my favorite color. The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer, book of the month. I was going to say that I was going to get a replacement, but this has some Puppy Junie bite marks as well. The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. It's book of the month. I think I will get a replacement. I remember being interested in it when it came out, especially when it actually came out because this was an earlier release. I literally never say this right. Clytemnestra by Costanza Casati, book of the month. I don't see myself getting a replacement. Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This is one of the books that my sister is going to be taking. It is book of the month, and she has my paperback copy, so we're basically just switching. So I'm going to keep it aside because I know that she'll want it. And to go along with that, Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, book of the month. My sister will be taking this one too. Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven, book of the month. I think I might look into what it's about because I'm interested mostly for the cover because I think the cover is so pretty. The Last Word by Taylor Adams, book of the month. I do want the replacement of this. I think the concept and the idea is very cool and I would love to see how the execution turns out. 5 Broken Blades by Mai Corland. I think I do want a replacement. Again, it's book of the month, but I know that there is at least a second book and it has a lot of things that I personally really like in books. The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, book of the month. I don't think I'm gonna get a replacement. I like, of course, that it has purple on it, but I don't know. Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier, book of the month. I don't see myself getting a replacement. Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows, both by Rebecca Ross. It's the same series, it's a duology, and I would love to get a replacement. The Magnolia Palace by Fiona Davis, book of the month. I don't think I'll keep it. I was interested in it at the time, but I definitely don't remember what it's about now, which probably says something. The Unmaking of June Farrell by Adrienne Young, book of the month. I will look into what it's about a little bit more. I think I remember some things and I'm definitely interested, so replacement is unsure. Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline, like I said, obviously book of the month, and I do want to get a replacement for both. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. It's book of the month, and I'm like very on the fence about this. I will be getting a replacement. In a Book Club, Far Away by Tina Marcello. I don't see myself getting a replacement. This was book of the month. Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. It's book of the month. It has some fond memories for me. It's actually helped me in like an economics class before, so I might get a replacement. Violent Delights and Foul Lady Fortune, both by Chloe Gong. Like I said, literally these 3 are the only books that I have by her, so I would love to get some replacements to really give her a chance because I haven't read them. Adelaide by Genevieve Wheeler. I'm very interested in this book. I would love to get a replacement. It is book of the month. Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa C. Book of the month, I don't see myself getting a replacement. You're Invited by Amanda Jayatissa. It's book of the month. I don't know if I would get a replacement. I'm interested in it because I believe it was a thriller and I would love to branch out more in my genres. I just don't know if this will be something that I'm actually reaching for. The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark, book of the month. I don't think I'll get a replacement. Ana Maria and the Fox by Liana de la Rosa. I would love to get a replacement of this. It's book of the month and I'm very, very interested in this series. The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. Book of the month, I don't see myself getting a replacement. The Resort by Sarah Oakes. Book of the month, probably not going to get a replacement. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Book of the month, not getting a replacement. Kaike by Vaishnavi Patel. Book of the month, probably not going to get a replacement. Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. Book of the month, I might get a replacement. I'm very intrigued by this whole premise. The Wedding Dress Sewing Circle by Jennifer Ryan. The last book of the month, probably not going to get a replacement. Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass movie screenplay adaptations. I just don't really want them anymore, and I already have the stories, like the original stories, in a different format, and this just seems redundant to keep, especially after all these years, and I've never once really opened them. I have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone again, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets again. I already have the entire series in hardcovers, like you saw. I don't know if there's a need to keep them all, especially since now I have like 3 copies of the first 2 books. And if you don't know, I've literally only read the first 2 books, and I just did this like last year. But I also absolutely do not want to support J.K. Rowling in any way. Next is Mulebone by Zora Neale Hurston and Langston Hughes. I got this for a class. I actually have 2 copies. I don't remember how that ended up happening, but I don't need a replacement because I already have it. First and Then by Emma Mills. I looked this over because I wasn't sure. I got this from book club, but I just don't think I'm really ever going to reach for it. I love the cover. I think that's so fun. I'm just not really interested in it. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I have 2 copies of this, so I definitely don't need a replacement. My sister might take this, I'm not sure. Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I have 2 copies of this literal version. I have 2 copies of a lot of her books. For example, A Curse for True Love. I think this is my 3rd copy. Yeah, because I was trying to get them in the Barnes & Noble special editions because there's stuff like Under the Dust Jacket. Also, Caraval by Stephanie Garber. For the same reason, I just have more than one. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Again, I have 2 copies. I don't remember how that happened, which is why I got a barcode scanner to catalog my book. Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I'm still on the fence about getting rid of it, but the main reason why is because I prefer paperbacks, and I know that there are new paperbacks coming out with special edges for this series. Babel by R.F. Kuang. I have 2 copies of this. I definitely really don't need 2 copies of this. Dune by Frank Herbert. I'm actually very much interested in the series. I really don't like this format. As you can tell, it's like a travel paperback size, a mass media paperback size, but I really don't like it. I would much prefer it to be sort of more in the realm of a regular sized book. After by Anna Todd, After We Fell by Anna Todd, and After We Collided by Anna Todd. I got After We Fell when I was in the hospital as a gift, and I started reading them, especially when the movies came out and everything, and I was very much on the train, but it is such a toxic story, and I was over it very quickly. It was like too many things were happening for me, and I was just very much over it. The Edge of Never by J.A. Redmersky. This, as well as The Forbidden by Jody Ellen Malpas. I literally did not pick these books out. I got them because somebody donated them to my high school library and they are too mature, so my high school librarian gave them to me because everybody knows I like reading. Kingmakers Year 1 by Sophie Lark. I was trying to try out more dark romance and obviously the edges, but I have two main gripes with this. The first obviously being that Sophie Lark, not a good person. The second, this series does not really have titles, and I really don't appreciate that. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This is the movie cover. I have the regular cover and I much prefer it. And then similarly, Every Day by David Levithan. This is also the movie cover. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. And it's the movie cover, which is my main reason for getting rid of this one as well. Filthy Rich Fae by Geneva Lee. I have two copies of this. This one I'm a little iffy about just because it's been in my family for so long and it feels weird letting it go. But it is the Mortal Instruments City of Bones movie sort of cover. It's not necessarily the movie cover, but it's like what corresponds with the movie more. And then going along with that, I was a little bit iffy about this for a while, but again, I prefer paperbacks. So I have Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron. All three of these books are by Cassandra Clare. These are the first edition, first printing of The Last Hours Book 1 and Book 2, and I actually have them in paperback now, and the third one in paperback, and I just much prefer. I think it just fits so much better with all the rest of the books that I have. From the Universe Illuminae by Ami Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I was very interested in this book because it's got such a fascinating multimedia aspect to it, but I've never really picked it up, and I think part of that definitely has to do with the drama and the character revelations that came out about one of the authors. In the Afterlife by Alexandra Bracken. I have this in another cover. I was debating keeping this because it's the older cover. It's like the original cover, but I would much rather have my covers, my formats, and everything just match. These next books, I don't have anything to say in my defense. I have 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades Freed, Grey, Darker, all by E.L. James. If you know, you know. I like the movies. My family were very big for the movies. I like the actual romance plot line that is in the books of the movies. I just don't see a reason to keep them. I have the first 4 books of the Pretty Little Liars series, which is Pretty Little Liars, Flawless, Perfect, and Unbelievable. I've read Pretty Little Liars, and if you don't know, it's basically just the first episode of season 1, and I've seen the show multiple times, and I enjoy it. I just don't think that I will enjoy the books. Next, I have the second and third books and the prequel to the Ever After High series. I've been keeping them because these were some of the first chapter books that I really liked and I was like excited to buy when they would come out. I don't have the first book anymore because I gave it to a girl from the class that I peer tutored my senior year of high school, and I just don't see the point in needing to keep these anymore. Which, to definitely go on that, I also have the Ever After High yearbook. I have Harley Quinn Hot in the City Volume 1. I was trying to collect Harley Quinn comics for a short period of time, and I actually have so much fun reading comics, but I don't know how to get into collecting them. Continuing, I have A Shade of Vampire by Bella Forrest. I read this book online before finding out that you could get the actual book, and then I read it and I really liked it, and then I read the second book, or I tried to read the second book, and then I was like, I DNF'd it because it was just repetitive. And I've never once gone back to this one. This is a book from class, from one of the first classes I ever took, fall semester of my freshman year of college, and it is the Portable Enlightenment Reader, which has a lot of very good stories and things, and it was definitely insightful for what we were doing for that class. but it's not the kind of textbook that I really want to keep. Bad Feminist Essays by Roxane Gay. I wasn't exactly interested in this book. I got it from book club and everybody said that it was really bad. So we're just going to like, it's okay. I didn't even want to read it. I just wanted it because I was getting free books from book club. Little Woman by Louisa May Alcott. I actually have never finished the book. Literally my bookmark is at page 252, but I'm deciding to unhaul this copy because I've been collecting the Barnes & Noble paperback signature classic editions, including this, and I love them so much more. The Collected Poems of Emily Dickinson, obviously by Emily Dickinson. I appreciate poetry and I appreciate her poetry. I've never really reached for this book. Next I have the first, second, and third, I think they're called omnibus editions of the Sweep series by Kate Tiernan, which has obviously the first 9 books. I've just literally never reached for them, never been interested in them. The Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales Barnes & Noble special like edition, it's not the leather bound, but it's the hardcover with the gold edges and the ribbon and everything, but I've literally never reached for it. And I have a different version also in the Barnes & Noble signature classic paperback editions that I would much rather have. So that is the last book of the unhaul. If you can't tell, I'm really trying to just prioritize books that I am much more interested in, books that I would think about more often, books that I gravitate towards. I'm trying to cultivate a library, a collection, catalog of things that I would actually see myself wanting to read and actually actively reading. And as much as I wanted it to be some of these books, it's just not. And that's okay, because now I have more space. I have some shelves. You can't super tell, but like this one, and then the one right above it, they're actually basically completely empty. And it's so exciting because I've had so many books for so long that I've never seen these shelves this empty before. And it's very exciting, especially since my birthday is next month, so I will definitely have the opportunity to get more books, to fill more shelves. But with that said, that is the video. We had a little bit of a haul, we had a huge unhaul, we cataloged everything. It was definitely very fun. I will probably be spending a good few days curating my libib database catalog now. I think I will still keep my Notion one, but libib is definitely going to be a lifesaver in the future. I can already tell. Also, if you want to plead the case of any books I'm unhauling or convince me to get a replacement for anything, definitely do that. But in the meantime, I will be buying more books, reading more books. So, te aprecio mucho y mi corazón es tuyo para siempre. Adiós!